You as a young person, what do you think of music vinyl?
Music vinyl?
To be completely honest, I feel like it's gone out of fashion in the past couple of decades, because I feel like more people have been onto radio and CDs and streaming services. I think it's just a bit out of fashion.
I wouldn't really know because I'm not old.
Well, yeah, actually that's a fair point.
So I actually collect vinyls. I honestly think it's a great way to show your appreciation for an artist's music in more of a way than just downloading it on your phone. I think it just shows a great love for their art and their work and what they've done. Yeah, so that's what I think. Obviously, people can have whatever feelings they like about it, but yeah.
You would think that the answer to this question would be more one-sided, potentially being more dismissive, but the last person might have surprised you. We live in a world where music is actually at our fingertips, over Spotify or Apple Music, and there's over 100 million songs ready to play. So why are people still collecting music vinyl? I decided to dive into this a bit more with my friend Doug, another young collector who fits what I was looking for. He's been into vinyl longer than me, so you'll see his takes alongside mine throughout this whole documentary. Okay, so we're at the interview, guys. Let's go. We've made it. Alright, why do you think people choose to buy vinyl when just streaming is so effortless?
I think the main reason is that people just like to have their favourite albums on physical.
Yeah.
Like, if something's on a phone screen, it's not something you can hold.
Yeah.
People like to be able to hold their favourite music.
Yeah, so it's like decoration almost.
Yeah.
Hearing Doug say that people want to hold their music, not just stream it, made me realize vinyl connects with something much deeper. It's less about convenience and more about that real connection. The new, younger generation is collecting music vinyl, even though we passed the technology nearly 50 years ago. This video dives into a lot of modern day aspects of music vinyl that you may have not known about, as well as other areas like how the technology has shifted over the years, and why there's some collectors who don't even own a record player. This documentary in a nutshell will be to answer this question. What does vinyl truly mean to this generation? Before we investigate modern day vinyl hunting, let's rewind 50 years. What was vinyl actually like back then? Nostalgia is a very powerful sentiment. The music playing right now probably means something to you. That feeling is why vinyl still connects with some young people today, as it reminds them of a time where music wasn't instant. It was more of an experience. Back in the 1970s, listening to vinyl was intentional. There was no shuffle button on playlists or even skipping tracks. Albums were designed with intention, and you could say the world has lost that connection to music today. Albums used to feel like stories. I was curious if people still believed that intention existed. So of course, like back in the day, right, vinyl used to be very intentional with the way like tracks and stuff are sequenced. Do you think like streaming's almost changed the way how people sequence their albums now?
It certainly has. Mainly, I think people in this generation have very little attention span. So a lot of these artists will intentionally put the biggest hit right at the start of the album, like within the first 3 tracks, because they know what their audience is like.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like also with hits, they were forced onto albums. Like people add it as like bonus tracks. Like I think, okay, this is the first example I thought of. Lil Uzi's Pink Tape, right? At the end, there was this leaked grail that like was really, really big. It was a really big leaked song for him, and he put it at the end of the album. It's like, but it was like really notorious, and everyone really wanted it to release, so he just put it at the end of that album for the sake of it. It really shows how much it damages the album as well, because Pink Tape's a really long album. Like really long for no reason, and it's just a lot of filler on there. It kind of proves how much it impacts the album. Hearing how track lists today are very front-loaded or padded out, it's clear that the intention has shifted. What once felt like storytelling now has changed into something that just feels more like a streaming strategy. Everyone had their own setups in the 70s. People used to use them as a symbol of pride and adulthood. People had to invest into the best possible gear because it was the only true way to hear music properly. Record stores weren't just retail shops. There were social hubs where people connected over music, learning about new artists and genres through word of mouth. Discovering music took effort. You couldn't preview any tracks. You had to go around people's houses or sometimes paid to find out what a record really sounded like. The 70s gave rise to genres that define music history as we know it. This era also marked major cultural shifts. We had the birth of disco, punk, rock, soul, and funk, with vinyl being the lock on all of it. If we open a portal between the 1970s and 2025, we would witness a major shift in how vinyl is experienced with the equipment used. Take turntables. Once fully manual and belt driven, they now work at a push of a button, performing the movements for you. Speakers used to require bulky amplifiers to function, but today's speakers are wireless, with Bluetooth allowing you to connect with the turntable without the need for other cheaper equipment. And the headphones? They were once thick, wooden, annoying, and inconvenient. Now we have lightweight, portable, wireless options that don't even sacrifice music quality either. The new modern technology isn't the only thing that has changed. New albums today are still being produced on vinyl, even after all this time. So there is still clearly an appeal into it. Take these photos playing on screen now to show you how it has changed throughout the years. You might wonder why anyone would still choose to buy music vinyl in person when streaming is so effortless, beyond just nostalgia. I conducted secondary research and discovered overall many people enjoy owning the music physically because the effort required to spin them makes it more rewarding afterwards. I personally understand and appreciate the appeal behind it. Another aspect of the modern vinyl experience is that young people primarily obtain their vinyl online. If you browse past discussions online, it is clear that's the standard for today. Platforms like Discogs are great for finding specific vinyl and getting it shipped directly to your doorstep. Typical and accessible options to purchase vinyl come from an artist's website or Amazon for convenient access. Although not all young people act this way, like take Doug for example. Anyways Doug, so I've known you for a while obviously. Like I know that you've pretty much got all of your collection in person, so like why don't you buy your vinyl online?
For me, is I'm not too fussed about ordering stuff online because that's mainly if you want certain editions of albums.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just if I see an album I genuinely want for my collection, that's more important than something I don't really listen to, but it's on like a really nice pressing, for example.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, like I really like pressing, so I like to go on something like Discogs and like find a specific one and then just order it to my house. But I see why. Another benefit, I guess, of getting it in person is you can tell that it's good quality and stuff.
Yeah.
I think my only issue with in person is sometimes like the price points are a bit higher.
HMV do charge a pretty penny. I'm
Yeah.
the first to admit, collected
Yeah.
from them mainly.
I like getting stuff secondhand as well because they're just cheaper
Yeah.
a lot of the time. Over the years of being collecting vinyl and stuff like that, I understand like the price points more and stuff and like what's worth buying, because I think when I started collecting, I bought Vultures 1 and I spent a ridiculous amount on the shipping. And then the pressing wasn't even that good either. It was bad quality on like the photo on the front. And like I paid like over like, I swear it was like 80 or like 60
Ooh.
plus. I don't know why. I was just spending money for the sake of it and it just wasn't worth.
Is it a coloured LP?
No, it's literally just pure black. I know afterwards they released like a brown marbled version.
I saw that, yeah.
I mean, they look quite nice, but I should have just bought the standard for an awful amount.
Yeah.
Because they charged a vinyl for 50 when it first came out. And now it's like, and then I think they changed it to like really cheap, kind of like what Travis was doing with Utopia when he was like selling it for really cheap.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
think the Jack Boys 2 vinyl, that's like 15 USD or something.
Yeah, that was
I
ridiculous.
wanted to buy it, but obviously shipping.
That's
Travis
like-
Scott's shipping is so bad. It's way too high. The approach Doug had shows how online platforms are great for tracking down specific pressing, but there's not always a need to use them when you can just buy the vinyl in person, especially when it comes to exclusive releases that you can only get at record stores. A major benefit of being an in-person vinyl collector is the access to exclusive releases during events like Record Store Day, offering those rare, limited edition pressings that are only available at physical stores. Take this past April, it included the first ever colored pressing of the Low End Theory outside of the United States, and the debut release of Pond's The Early Years compilation, featuring some of their earliest unreleased work. Today's young collectors discover their information through modern sources like social media. Social media clearly plays a role, but I just wanted to hear how much it actually influences what people buy. How much of a role does social media play when it comes to you like buying vinyl? Do you find posts of like vinyl being released online like 99 Vinyl, or does it even play a role into it?
So to be honest, I do see a lot of these tweets run about.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I'm on Twitter quite
Yeah.
frequently. But to be honest, unless it's something I really wanted, then I would never consider buying one.
Well, I mean, I'm very different, obviously. I think you've known that I bought Hurry Up Tomorrow, like the second like
Yeah.
the Obby strip version came out because it was limited to like 500.
Yeah.
I was actually walking back from college. It was like 5 minutes from my house. I got like the notification of 99 Vinyl story. I was like, you know, I might as well just check it. And then I saw it. I was like, okay, I should probably buy this because I'm probably gonna buy the vinyl anyways after the album came out. Obviously, it's out now. I know the quality. It was good. Definitely was worth buying. And then yeah, it comes with a custom Obby strip. I've got like, I don't know what number it was, but it's out of 500. It's really cool, honestly. But yeah, like social media just helps a lot with knowing like what's coming out, because I think I found like obviously there's just lots of stuff that's released that I found out because of social media.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Die Lit, that's on vinyl now.
Yeah.
That was like a grail for everyone for years and years. Finally been officially released on vinyl. I obviously found out, like music, right? We'll keep to the theme of Cardi here. Like I found out there was a different variant release. There was the white one, which was exclusive to the website, but apparently black's going to be the norm for like vinyl stores and stuff. Whereas if you buy it directly from Cardi's website, you can get the normal white cover with the white disc. And obviously I found that out through social media, which I think is quite cool. Doug's not too moved by the social media drops, but for me, it's a different story. I actually managed to pick up a vinyl that I really wanted because of 99 Vinyl's Instagram. That kind of instant access is what makes online platforms so useful. Pages such as 99 Vinyl's Twitter were posting live updates the moment as soon as any vinyl was dropped, showing his own videos of him playing the new releases himself. If you wanted to, you could go the extra mile and call local record stores yourself to ask about availability. That is a unique advantage that young people have today. The ability to access a wide network of different resources, whether it's social media updates or direct calls. Young collectors can arrange for the designed vinyl to be held in store, waiting for their arrival to pick it up. Vinyl releases used to be a major event when new albums dropped. Since record stores were the primary way to listen to music, crowds would line up outside stores fighting to get their hands onto the latest releases. Times have clearly changed since then. Today's younger generation does not line up at stores anymore. They can pre-order the vinyl straight to their home, and the demand that once surrounded releases are no longer. Most young people today view vinyl as an expensive hobby, one where it isn't always sustainable to keep partaking in it. Because of this, people have turned to other forms of media to collect. Cassettes and CDs are the most common, providing affordability and being easier to store, unlike vinyl. Coming from more of a curious standpoint, wondering how Doug felt about other physical formats rising with vinyl. Does he approve of them? What do you think about like CDs and cassettes like making a comeback as well alongside vinyl?
I'm totally for it.
Yeah, same.
It's just getting more common for people to play like their CDs in their cars. So when like your favorite artist puts out these vinyls, put out these CDs, it doesn't just have to be something you do in your home. There is a massive appeal. If you're going on a drive somewhere, on a bit of a road trip, bring a few CDs with you.
Yeah.
Put one in.
That's actually a really good point. Like I didn't even think about it myself, like CD players. Like I might start collecting some CDs as well if I get a car. That sounds really good. I also just think like cassettes and CDs, it makes it a lot easier to collect rather than vinyl, because vinyl, it takes up a lot of storage space, as well as they're more expensive. I think CDs and cassettes are a good alternative to vinyl. Whereas if you don't have the budget to keep doing it and making it sustainable, collect some CDs and cassettes, and I think that could solve your problem. We made some good points. Not everyone has the space or budget for vinyl, and formats like CDs are just fill in the gap. Looking at online discussions prior, it is clear that people are comparing these formats amongst each other, many agreeing that these are more practical alternatives. The price of vinyl over time has risen heavily, switching focuses on the purpose being for decoration rather than being for record listening. I know this switch has happened because I did this poll and posted it on Twitter, which got me a lot of responses. Certain websites like Dot drop exclusive decorative releases for niche artists, ranging from splatter designs, hobby strips, and picture discs. I've even got a few unique pieces myself. For example, my MF Doom 20th anniversary pressing of Food, featuring a different color and unique colorway for the vinyl. In addition, I also own an hobby strip from The Weeknd's new album Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is only limited to 500 copies. Vinyl's new decorative appeal has started to heavily be shown in social media culture today. TikTok and Reddit have people showcase their vinyl as part of their bedroom rather than them being played. In fact, there was an infamous study done that showed 50% of people who own a vinyl don't even have a record player. Doug's seen the same things that I've seen online, so I asked him how widespread he thinks the trend has really been. Have you noticed how like vinyl started to show up in like decoration and fashion more? Like you see people like taking these pictures of like the vinyl like next to them as like almost like an Instagram selfie and stuff like that. Like have you seen that? Like what's your thoughts on it?
I know what you mean. Being a Twitter user myself, I do see people combining fashion with music.
Yeah.
The thing I mainly see is like 99. They'll get one of their vinyls and then they'll literally match it with a pair of their shoes.
Oh, I've seen this actually, yeah. I know you're on about.
Yeah.
It's like, I think like the caption of the post or like, well, I saw it on Instagram. The caption was like, the shoe, the album.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like an interesting way to like blend the two as well. Doug immediately knew what I meant, as we've both seen the same post online. Like that one where someone matches their shoe to the vinyl. It's this blend of fashion that started to pop up more and more. Websites have caught onto this shift too, like Urban Outfitters sell vinyl in its bedroom/fashion prop section. Fashion is a part of this documentary that I'm going to cover soon. Even Depop though, who is known as a second-hand fashion app aimed at young people, has its own growing vinyl resale market. It has some great prices that I plan to buy for myself soon. And of course, to finish this section off, I had to ask him how he felt about the people who just use vinyl as decoration. What do you think about people just purely using vinyl as decoration?
I mean, I respect it. It does add to to the aesthetical side of things. It can make people's rooms look nicer, even if it's not something I personally do. I've seen your setup. I think it is a good addition to your room.
Yeah, thanks. I think with me, actually, I think if you're not even going to listen to it, I don't know if it's worth buying because it's quite expensive. Whereas you can get those like really nice, you could find these on Amazon, right? Poster things, and it's got like the track list, the artist name, signature. Those like printed within like the glass and stuff like that just look a lot more nicer. Like I think you're better off getting something like that instead of just buying a vinyl at full price, because vinyls they can be pretty expensive nowadays.
Yeah, some upwards of 50. You never know.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier with Never Enough's full price. It's quite ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you see My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye, that's like, I swear it's like 65 or something.
And the rest.
I mean, what you get in it's actually good. You can change the cover and there's so many discs, but 65 for a vinyl is crazy.
Can't justify it, really.
Doug told me he respects it, and after seeing how I've styled my room, he gets the appeal. But for me, if you're not going to listen to the record, there are cheaper, decorative alternatives that look just as good. Some vinyl like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West can run you £65 or more. These changes point to a major cultural change that sees vinyl take a decorative focus with young people and this generation, seeing how it's no longer about sound, but about the style, design, and identity of it all. During my research, I came across something interesting in addition to this all. Many people today admit they buy vinyl purely for the cover art. This reminded me of my friend Stefan, who has started to collect vinyl recently. Ended up buying his first album because of the cover art, even though he has barely heard the album. Today, it seems like vinyl is less about the music, but more about the aesthetic. To back this up with real world evidence, I decided to ask Doug his opinions on the new trend, whether he's even noticed it too. How much of like the look of the vinyl matters to you? Like, is it purely the music, or is it like a balance of both, or is it the cover? Like, where do you land on that?
For me, it does not lean in one direction. It's just about being a cover I like and being music I like. I'm not going to buy something that's awful just because it has an amazing cover. Also, vice versa. I'm not going to buy something that's really good if it just has a cover I don't want to look every time I open my box. Yeah,
I'm the same. I mean, I was saying it earlier actually. I make sure I get like a balance.
Yeah.
Like just a pure balance. I try to get the best cover art and the best music at the same time. Like I mentioned earlier, Igor and Never Enough, those two match. Great music, great cover. And that's kind of what I strive to get. Doug's perspective is about balance. The cover has to be strong and so does the music. I agree with that. I think albums like Ego and Never Enough stood out to me, not just because they sounded great, but because the artwork also just felt meaningful. But sometimes it's not even about how much you love the music. This is similar to a question that we've already done, right? But have you ever bought a vinyl where you didn't even know the music that well, right? But like the packaging and like the visual design of like the album made you just want to buy it?
I do have an instance of that, actually.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you did.
So the first thing that comes to mind is Life is But a Dream by Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, yeah.
I'd only like listened to that album once, but I went into HMV one day. I saw this limited edition version of it. Pretty sure it was half price.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, very nice, like baby blue LP. I just couldn't resist.
Yeah, but you were telling me about like Never Enough, right?
Yeah.
Like that was like 50% off, and like the color pressing was there as well. I need to go to where you be. I don't see 50% off like anywhere I go. No, this is good deals, man. So anyways, what about like the packaging of Life is But a Dream made you want to buy it? Like just the cover? Like what's up with it?
I do enjoy the album cover.
Yeah, the cover's really nice. It's quite different as well. The color of it, it's like paper almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just different. I really like it as well. It is really good. Well, how much was it? Do you know?
I think it was similar to Never Enough here, where it was about 55 down to 26.
Damn.
So yeah, basically off price.
55 is actually expensive as well, just on its own, like the normal price. That's probably why it went down.
Especially for a 10-song album.
Yeah, like Never Enough. I'm kind of surprised that sold for like 55 or whatever originally. That's quite a lot. I mean,
it's quite a new release at the time though. It'd only been out a year, maybe a little bit under. I've had it quite a while.
I remember you telling me you saw it on the shelf and you just bought it. I was like, damn, fair enough.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if I've heard the album by that point when you bought it.
Yeah, I don't think you had. I think that was when I was first getting into Daniel.
Like, I even plan on buying it myself, which I'm going to mention either in the future of this documentary or like I've already mentioned it, but like website like Depop, you can buy it for like 25 second hand, so I'm definitely going to do that. And while not everyone buys vinyl just to show it off, there's no denying it's become a bit of a visual statement too, especially online. I don't believe decoration or use of vinyl is where it ends. Our generation has begun applying it in the world of fashion. I've seen it everywhere lately. A viral Twitter post, on Instagram feeds, and Pinterest. I mean, the generation of today thrives by posting selfies online, more specifically in Instagram posts. Like, I even post my own posts and sneak a little selfie in mine. Vinyl being used makes them more creative and interesting, which is what's being done today. You don't even have to be holding a record to add style, as long as it's present within the photo, like this embarrassing photo of me on my story. This is a newer shift in vinyl that is relatively new. Expect this to gain momentum and expand on years to follow. Give it a few more years and I reckon this will become the norm. I asked Doug to predict where this is all heading. So this documentary I've been making, right, it's very like now. How is modern vinyl now, right? Like I talk about decoration, fashion, how it shifted from like its original purpose, right? Where do you think vinyl's headed within the next 10 years?
So going back to earlier, I think it'll have a big impact on fashion.
Yeah.
So you say people will probably consciously try to match an album with what they're wearing, whether that's for people personally at home or whether that's like in fashion shows or whatever. I definitely see it having a bigger impact in the future.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to that. So I was thinking something very similar when it comes to like fashion shows and stuff, right? Like you see that the new Met Gala, right? That just happened like the other day. I'm thinking about how people can walk around with like a vinyl accessory in their hands. I think it might have even been done before, where someone runs around with like a vinyl accessory in the hand, have like the outfit to match with it. Because you see a lot of unique outfits there, and I think something like that, especially musical artists that go to Met Gala, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already been done or we're heading into that direction. Changing focus, I want to talk about sound. See, earlier, we touched on how equipment has evolved since the 70s. But what if we went deeper than that? Vinyl has become more accessible with introductions of entry-level costly record players. They're lightweight, portable, and perfect for those who aren't committed to collecting or travel a lot. The accessibility has opened the door to a whole new generation of collectors, making vinyl feel less intimidating and rather inviting. Although there's a contrast present, records themselves have become more expensive over time. The gear needed to play them has never been easier to get. If you're looking for something that is durable and high performance, spending around double to triple can actually get you a build that can last a lifetime, giving you better quality and features to coincide it. To prove how easy it is to get into, I even have my own Crossley boxed away that I have never ended up using. I know plenty of people who own one but don't even take vinyl collecting serious. In fact, most of the footage I've been seeing of the Crossley player is from my friend Jack. Speaking of setups, this is the perfect area for me to dive into next. Turntable setups have become a huge part of how young people connect with vinyl today. Browsing through Reddit, you can find tons of posts where people are proudly sharing their own unique setup. It's clear to me that everyone engages with vinyl in their own way, which I think is awesome. I even had a look at Doug's setup, who is working with a small room that was able to transform it into something different. He has a minimalistic approach, having his turntable and storage unit on top of his wardrobe, and covering his room in posters that came with his vinyl purchases. Doug's setup is unique, so I asked him what he was going for when he built it. Like, how did you decide to like lay out your record player setup almost? Like, is it practicality, aesthetics? Like, how did you make it all come together?
So for my personal setup, I have little room to work with, so I wasn't going for the aesthetics when arranging my setup. I just looked around my room. I thought where'd be the most appropriate spot to put it, so I put it on top of my wardrobe and I got an extension lead and plugged it into a socket.
Yeah, like your setup is like really unique. Obviously, it's a lot more like minimalistic because you obviously don't have the space for it. Whereas with mine's a lot more. Honestly, I think I go for more of a visual appeal because I like having like the record display above the record player almost. It looks a lot nicer that way, and it's also practical because I got like the speaker shelves that like custom made at home. They just kind of go above it or to the side, so there isn't vibrations onto the record player itself. So it's a mix of like practicality and aesthetics for me. While Doug kept things simple out of convenience, it made me reflect on how different my setup is. Looking at my own setup, I invited Doug to visit my house so we can go through it in more detail. Alright, so I think if I was going to describe my setup, I'd say it's like really simplistic, while still having some like characteristics. It's like the shelf over there, right? It's not even straight, but I've kind of added character to it by having like my Gengar plushie on top of it. It's kind of just my own setup, which I think is really cool. Like, I think my setup kind of perfectly represents what I wanted to go for when I was making it. It just kind of shows who I am. Afterwards, we were still not finished. I wanted to explore a final area, which is a reason why people argue that vinyl is better. This is purely based off the sound. But before putting Doug to the test, I wanted to hear his thoughts up front. Just his honest take on whether vinyl really sounds better than streaming, without him knowing that I was going to make him prove it later. Do you like personally hear a difference when you like listen to vinyl compared to streaming? Like, is streaming higher quality or is like just a warmer sound to the records? Like, what's going on there?
Personally, I would say the quality is better on an actual vinyl player.
Yeah.
At least in my experiences. Because like you say, it was more of a richer sound. You feel more immersed in the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I actually agree. I've heard people say like they're more old and you can hear like the grains and stuff. To me, that actually just sound higher quality. I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's because it's more direct from the source, right? Because if you're playing it on like Spotify, for example, right? Like Spotify, like you upload the music onto Spotify, right? So it's already from the computer, the source file, it's already onto Spotify. So that's already, the quality's already been lowered a little bit, right? And then you've also got to play it on streaming like to your earphones or whatever. I just feel like there's so many like different connections in a way where I think the quality just gets lowered naturally. So to me, when I spin records, I think they're just higher quality.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me. Like, I haven't backed this up with evidence or anything. This is genuinely just what, from my experience, what I've noticed. Doug made it clear how vinyl just sounds better to him. I mean, I even agree. Although, because we haven't had proof, we need to continue where he was earlier. I decided to blindfold Doug and play music through my earphones. The same song will be played twice, one using my record player and the other being on Spotify, having him to guess which is which with an explanation to follow.
That was fairly high quality. I couldn't tell if that was either, really. Sounded good though.
Okay, we'll see after the next one. Okay, so now that we've done both of them, what do you think it is?
Now I'm even more confused. I'll be honest. That one sounded a lot clearer, and I feel like. Ooh. So I think that one just then was a streaming service.
Do you think the first one was the vinyl player?
Yeah.
And the second one was the streaming service. Why? What do you think the difference is?
So with a vinyl player, the audio is like better, but less clear in a way.
Okay, and what do you think? Comparing it to the second one, what do you think?
It just sounded more like a vinyl.
Do you think there was much of a difference?
The second one sounded a lot clearer to me personally.
So you think the audio is like clearer, as in it's easy to tell what they're saying, or like the quality's better? Like, what do you think when you say that?
It's just like louder, and there's not really any like slight noises that aren't music. Because vinyl player always has little noises, but the second one didn't. It's just you can hear the needle to an extent, and I didn't really feel like I could hear that on the second one. But there was a bit of a noise in the first one. That's what I think.
That's really interesting. So the first one was streaming service. So now that you know both of the formats, what's your thoughts now? Maybe vinyl's actually better than what we think it is.
Yeah, I feel I definitely underestimated the quality of vinyl audio. It just sounded so much clearer. That's what really swayed my decision, but turns out I got things the wrong way around, and vinyl is the thing that has better audio.
Yeah, wow. That's surprising, that test. Really, because to be honest, I think I agree. Like, when I listen to it, I think we even said this in the interview. I don't know what it is when you listen to vinyl. It just feels like so much more pure. Because I think when it comes from a streaming service, the audio file is just passed around, and I feel like it's very filtered. At the end of the day, I just think vinyl could be more pure. And maybe if we ever do another documentary, we could always experiment with CDs, because CDs, they're apparently the most purest audio format out of everything, even streaming. So that'd be a really interesting comparison to do maybe in a future documentary. Anything you want to say to wrap it up?
Vinyl is awesome.
Good answer. Something unique with this generation is how deeply music is tied to an emotional experience. This generation tends to use it as a form of escapism. That connection plays a huge role in why vinyl today has made a resurgence in the first place. People don't find it just being about sound and nostalgia. They want to escape their situation by submerging themselves with the music. There's something that vinyl seems to give people that goes deeper than just the music. Do you feel like almost a different emotional connection when you're spinning vinyl compared to like listening to music on streaming?
I feel it's a big difference, yeah. Mainly because if I'm listening to something through, whether it's my AirPods or my gaming headphones, that's literally just opening Spotify and pressing just the play button. But if you're listening to something on physical, you're getting the vinyl out of your box, you're taking LPs out, you're putting it on a player, you're like pressing buttons on the vinyl player. It's more of a process. It feels more that you actually do it, like you're giving more input, so it feels like the music is a bit more personal than literally just opening an app and pressing a button, if you get me. Yeah,
because I feel like when I go to do vinyl listens, I kind of force myself to be like in the zone to listen to music. Yeah. Like I'm ready to like focus on the music front to back, whereas if I'm putting an album on streaming, it's more just like background noise.
Yeah.
Whereas I like spinning on vinyl because I can kind of just chill and just, I don't know, like engross myself to the music, which is honestly why I haven't done too many vinyl spins yet. Because I got my setup done like maybe a month ago now, right? Like proper setup so I can actually spin the records. Like I think I've only done Eagle, and I've done Yay and Kids See Ghosts back to back. I think that's all I've done.
Yeah, that's a similar reason why I don't spin things too much, because I do want to be in that zone.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely the same for me, where it's just background volume, or if I'm wanting to just do a random re-listen to an album.
Yeah.
That's what I do if it's on a streaming service.
Yeah, because I mean, at least for me, right, when I'm sorting out like my records themselves, like the actual discs, right?
Yeah.
Like I actually have to put a decent amount of effort to set them up, because I like to like use an anti-static brush just to
I do the same
sort
as
of
well,
out, like discharge the vinyl almost.
Yep.
So like you've got to put in effort if you want to actually listen. So if I'm putting all that effort in to actually listen to the record, I need to be in the zone for it. That's why it's like once in a blue moon, pretty much, when I go to spin.
Yeah. That's literally the exact same reason, like I say, that I don't do things too much.
It's pretty much the best way to word it, and I guess like that's how I would put the emotional connection like with vinyl and streaming. Like that's how I'd compare the two. Hearing how Doug speaks about vinyl, not just as a way to listen, but something more thoughtful, more intentional, it made me realize how personal this format really is. It's not just about sound, but it's what it represents. Let's circle back to the very beginning of this documentary. So what does vinyl mean to you?
Oh, that is a good question. What does vinyl mean to me? For me, I collect vinyl because, like I said earlier, I enjoy having music physically. Sometimes you don't want to have to put in AirPods, turn your console on to just chill and listen to music. Sometimes you just want to get your vinyl out, put on the player and press play. Don't want to worry about all these distractions. Yeah, it's nice to just immerse yourself in the music from time to time.
Doug's perspective of immersing himself within the music was great to hear from his point of view. Let's look at the bigger picture. So what does vinyl mean to this generation? I'm going to be boring here and say there's a different answer for everyone. For some, I think it's about pride. For others, I think it's a way for them to showcase their music taste. And I think others find it as a nostalgic pull towards a time that they wanted to be a part of. Vinyl culture has gone in directions that no one else would have predicted it to, evolving from purely being about audio to something trendier, fashionable, and decorative. The journey I have taken across this video has showed me how much variation and personal collecting there's been for our generation. And that's exactly what I think makes it so compelling. We're done. That's good.